Hello, and welcome to the new home of 16 Candlekeeps. This is where the 80s pass their death saves, now in glorious high definition. We'll be releasing new episodes here every fortnight, as well as uploading the archive of our previous campaigns. If you enjoy our content, please don't forget to hit the like, hit the bell that gives you notifications, and just subscribe, please. Share us with your friends. My name is Steve Archer. I will be your dungeon master for the main campaigns, where these three will try to thwart me. You can also find me on twitch.com/GrimNearSingebeard, which I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere in the doobly-doo. But for now, please, my lovelies, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Emma Bamford. I'm one of the players. As well as this, I'm part of another podcast, a Call of Cthulhu podcast called the St. James Files, which you can find on Twitter at St. James Files, or my own Twitter, which is at Emma J. Bamford.
Hello, I'm Jade Pearce, and I don't have a lot to share other than my chaotic ramblings. So you can find my WordPress under Chaotic Ramblings of Me, or even my TikTok, which has the link in there too, under the same name, Chaotic Ramblings of Me.
Hello, I am Liam Thornton, sometimes found online under the name Bingle Bang Bang. You can find my videos on YouTube, where you can see a lot of card games, retro games, and of course on twitch.tv/thebinglebang.
And now we must thank our beautiful artist for this new image that we see. Liam, you have the handles and things. Would you like to give a shout out to Mr. Kyle for all this beauty?
Will do indeed. So the wonderful overlay that we have here, work on our new logo as well, courtesy of Kyle Wright Illustrations, who you can find on Facebook under that username, or you can actually head over to twitch.tv/oldmanhighwind, where you can actually watch the videos of him creating this pixel art magnificence. So definitely check that out. It's something very interesting to watch art brought to life right in front of your eyes. So give him all of the love and support that he 100% deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. Well, the only thing I would point out is to go over to our website, just in case you're new here and you're not used to our homebrew rules that we run. We're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but there are a couple of rules that we do off the bat which aren't in the book itself. They're all available on the homebrew rules page on our website, which you can find in the links below. Anyway, enough of that. We've decided our campaign for Campaign 3. We have made our characters. Some of us have made a lot of effort to look just like them, and others are just here as the Dungeon Master. So why don't we jump into Campaign 3, Descent into Avernus. So, the year is 1494 Dale Reckoning. 2 years after the felling of Auril the Frostmaiden in the callous tundras of the Icewind Dale. There has been little in terms of rebuttal from the goddess of winter, or any new risings across the land. This was until the falling of Elturel on the 30th of Kythorn. And yes, we're going for Faerunian calendar. The city sat a fortnight's trek to the east of the more infamous city of Baldur's Gate. It was famed as the holy capital of the kingdom of Elturgard, due to the holy ball of energy that hovered like a second sun over the city, dispelling any undead or evil that might wish harm to the city. Previous to this, the radiant sun was replaced by a superior guard known as the Hell Riders, who were dropped out of favour after the summoning of said sun, which removed their High Rider, who was turned out to be a vampire lord. However, not even the now denounced Hell Riders could save the city from the horror that caused its disappearance. Back over to the aforementioned Baldur's Gate, the refugees claw at the bolted gates, begging for assistance. The mercenary guard known as the Flaming Fist are nonplussed by their plight, as their leader and one of the 4 lords of Baldur's Gate was summoned to Elturel before its disappearance, and blame is stronger than pity. The city sits like a snake's mouth around the opening of the river Chointhoir onto the Sea of Swords. Even with the city walls, the buildings that make Baldur's Gate spill out into overflowing districts that are now overflowing with those sleeping in the streets. At the Basilisk Gate, to the east of the city, we find ourselves amidst a crowd of onlooking public trying to work out what's going on. There is an announcement taking place on a small plinth that sits just outside the large bolted gates as a man with scraggly black hair pulled back into a ponytail, very chiselled jaw covered by 5 o'clock shadow, and a leather eye patch covering one eye, steps and takes the audience's attention. But in the audience themselves, we would meet 3 new heroes. In your own time, please, who would we see in the crowd? Every time.
I'll go first then, since no one else wants to.
I know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm trying to write, but that's fine.
No. I apologise.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. I'm on it.
No, I'm ready.
Streamline D&D.
So, yeah, there would be a half elf with some short-ish black hair, nice, very well sculpted goatee, blue robes, and as he's just in the crowd, looking around and just furiously writing notes about everything, not really seeming like he belongs there, looking almost like, I would say, I guess, like a reporter or something. Not that there would really be any publications in this local area that anyone would actually read. He's got a notebook that he's writing in. He's got another book that's just sort of like strapped where one would normally keep a weapon on their side. He's got a bandolier that has also just tiny notebooks, spare quills, an ink pot. Dude likes to write.
Lovely. And just for later down the line, what name would we call this gentleman?
This gentleman would go by the name of Wyrd. Winston Wyrd.
I like
That's Wyrd with a Y.
I like a man with 3 names. Just I always got confused why Bond was called James Bond when his name is Bond James Bond.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, ladies, who else would be standing in the crowd? Don't make me fight and pick the windows.
There is a human woman, 6 foot tall, brown hair, scraped back into a bun, very severe looking, dressed in khakis, fatigues. She's standing at a little distance away from the crowd, watching what's going on, arms folded, leaning against a door. This is Corporal Cheryl Horton, and at the minute, she does not like to write. At the minute, she is observing what's going on around her.
And finally,
Oh no, here we go. Right, okay, so you'll see a young female human of Hauruan lineage. She's quite slim, but she's starting to come into her womanly curves. She's naturally blonde, but you will see her with dyed black hair, styled in kinky goth pigtails. She's got heavy eyeliner and makeup and deep purple lips. Lots and lots of piercings everywhere. There's meant to be tattoos, but I'm not doing that. She'll have tattoos from her neck all the way down across her shoulders and probably other places that you can't see. Her fashion is very vampire inspired, but not vampire. It's very goth fashion, black shirt, black trousery, pleathery sort of trousers with heeled lace-up boots, and then it will be a red corset that you see, and that's the only colour that you really see on her. She's very much black, uninterested in everything going on around her, except she's really paying attention, so her face says, I don't care, but her eyes are always watching everything going on. And she goes by Katherine Shepherd.
Lovely. Come on, Stephen. You were shouted at them for taking notes and not talking. Hello. So lovely. You three are currently amidst the crowd, as there is kind of like a hubbub. All of them are trying to push towards trying to get into the gates, which are currently closed behind this plinth. You can see the walls stretching off either direction. Somewhere a couple of minutes walk to the left of you is the River Chointhar, and further around you would follow the outskirts of the actual city itself. You, for wherever you might have come from, have received word via parchment that there has been a request for citizens of repute or with certain skills that are held higher than the average commoner to come and assist the current rabble that is looking after the city. It is not held away from the public opinion that the Flaming Fist are not the city guard. They are paid mercenaries that just happen to have the role because of the fact their leader, which would be Ulta Ravengard, who is the Grand Duke of Baldur's Gate. He is also the head of the Flaming Fist, and as such, his military faction has been placed in place of a city guard to save money. With that being said, you have been requested to report at the Basilisk Gate by one Captain Zodge, who is the gentleman.
Name.
Sorry?
Hello. What a name.
Strong name.
Well done, Christopher Perkins. You get a plus from me. It's almost akin to another Z name in superhero. So you've got this Captain Zodge has just got onto the plinth himself. You may recognise him depending on whereabouts you're from in the south of the Sword Coast. But also, if you're not familiar with him, the description that you were told to look for as you've wandered around with this parchment saying, I'm looking to report to Captain Zodge at the Basilisk Gate, points you to this man. He takes a moment and calls out to request quiet from the audience around him, and with no pomp or circumstance calls out, People of Elturel, my name is Captain Darmin Zodge of the Flaming Fist. We are a mercenary group akin to the City Guard. We sincerely regret the fall of your city, but we hope you will find some peace within ours. However, the panic stops here. There has been an increase of violent behaviour spreading throughout the city, and I will not stand for it. Now, if you have any information on the whereabouts of Grand Duke Ulda Ravengard or High Overseer Fabius Krieg, please report to me or one of my guards. Gentlemen, he turns and two guards either side of the gate start to pull the large planks that hold it closed, and they swing open, allowing entrance to the lower city of Baldur's Gate. The captain then steps down from the plinth and walks over to a small hut on the side of the gate itself, which looks to be like a local guardhouse. What would you guys like to do?
Sorry, I was writing.
It's a game of notes. It's a game of notes.
It's a game of notes, and then we need to do stuff.
If you need any things clarifying or double checking, don't hesitate to shout out.
What was the? He said if you've got information on Ravengard, who was the other guy who wants info on? So, Thaddeus Krieg.
Yeah, Fabius Krieg, or High Overseer Fabius Krieg. because we are in the area and you would know things, a bit like in England, we all know, like, you know, the Prime Minister, the Queen, we know these names.
Right.
High Overseer Fabius Krieg would be the ruler of Elturel.
Okay.
Raven who?
Grand Duke Alder Ravengard.
Raven Guard.
Badass names for badass gaming.
And he's the Grand Duke of Elturel.
Yes. I do
Yes.
like that. Just whilst the guys take their notes, I love the fact that you can always tell what sort of a character they are by the naming. If they have like a weedy name, they're probably the bad guy who is like very suspicious. Whereas if they've got this guy like Alder Ravengard, it's like, yeah, he's the head of the fucking captain, isn't he?
Yeah. This is that whole Richard the Lionheart thing again.
Yeah. You don't have anyone called John the Stoat.
No. John the Stoat, the big bad guy.
I would love John the Stone.
John
I
the
would
Stoat,
love John the
King of England.
Oh,
Accused of treason. Right.
I guess. I have to be really careful I remember the right name in my head. I guess Katherine would head over towards the captain if
Okay.
that's what she's been requested to do.
Yeah, no problem.
Yep.
Obviously,
Cheryl will also head in that direction.
perfect. Obviously, you are in the crowd, but you're not expected to be together just now. You may not have
Yeah.
met each other yet. You might have bumped into each other walking past, but yeah, you're not a known party together. Just double checking for Winston. Is there anything you'd like to do, or would you be following suit and heading towards?
Let's see if anyone else is moving forward first, and then as those two are moving, jot down a couple of notes, and then just follow afterwards.
Excellent. Yep, you would, especially being
Military clothing, non-military clothing.
Soft girl.
and also, just quickly before we jump into that, something that should probably be explained, with the fact that, because it exists, Campaign 2 being my world with all the weird shit, I'm going to say that although fatigues are kind of more of a Earth thing rather than a fantasy or D&D thing, I'm going to say there's probably somewhere a faction, if not on my world, in our world that we're making of Faerun, that has that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely whatever the fantasy equivalent of the US Army is.
It could be the underlayer, couldn't it? Because at the end of the day, they'd be wearing armour over the top of some form of clothing. So.
You'd still have undershirts, you'd still have trousers that the levers strap around and stuff like that. But also, knowing, without spoiling her character, knowing the character's choices, it would make sense that the armour isn't needed over the underclothing.
Exactly. Yeah. This is just yeah. There are things we will find out later, but safe to say she wears this every day.
Perfect.
Just as an outfit of choice.
So, in your own time and without bumping into one another just yet, you start to head over, and you may start to notice, especially for Winston, who's kind of clocked the two of you walking already, you might notice the other of the two of you heading towards towards the guardhouse, where you all enter into a small one-floor office area. There's a couple of desks around. It looks more like essentially like a mess hall rather than an office itself, but they've got a couple of desks that sit away from the main runs of like the long tables, where it's only about, it looks like they could sit about 20 people at most if every seat was taken in here, and there's only one or two people milling around at the moment. One that is mainly in sight for yourselves is over on the far edge of the room. You see the captain has taken a seat and is currently scribbling away into some sort of ledger in front of him. I would say, just so you're aware, he has his back to you currently, if anyone wants to interrupt.
Corporal Cheryl Horton, reporting for duty, sir.
Turns around. Hi. Are you the civilian party? I'm sure there were meant to be 5 of you.
I am one member of the party, sir. I cannot account for the other 4.
Okay, that's not good. Anyone else know what happened to the other 2? Any party Which of you are from the Scribblers? Sorry, sir.
Have you got eyes, sir?
I'll assume that's you. Thank you for service. I thought they might send one or two of you. Obviously, that'll account for one, at least, of the missing. And yourself, Alas?
Katherine. I just received a letter.
Excellent. So, apologies for interrupting whatever plans you might have had. Unfortunately, it's not as exciting as jury service, but it is akin to, helping the law of the land. As you may have read from the proceedings that were sent over to you, we're having a bit of issue in the area, and with the Grand Duke currently out of action somewhere to the east, we've taken it upon ourselves to kind of bolster the city guard approach more than necessary, but that means that I haven't got hands to look into certain issues that are taking place on the streets. There has been an increase in murders, particularly by a group of cultists. I've started to note certain paraphernalia being left at sites that the bodies are found at. I believe that it's a long-standing cult known as the Dead Free, if you're familiar. Anyone who would like to make a history or religion check, make it now!
Yep.
I'm going to go religion, please.
Yep.
I mean, either of these is going to be fine for me. I'm going to go history, why not? Give us a different angle.
I was going to say my history and religion scores are exactly the same.
18 from me.
18, 14 was that, sorry, from Cheryl?
She's not rolled.
Oh, you're not rolled, sorry, and sorry, for Katherine.
24.
24.
Oh, wow.
God damn. So,
17 for
right.
Cheryl.
No, that's fine. Lovely. So, between the three of you, you all have knowledge of this in the area. Baldur's Gate, being a bit of a cesspool, has its fair share of groups that add to that name. The Cult of the Dead Free is essentially an underground cult group that follow free adventurers that turned gods around the time of the Spell Plague. You have the god of murder and chaos, which I believe was Baal. I'll double check my things. Yes, god of murder. Baal, which is Bhaal. The god of tyranny, which is Bane. Spelled is exactly how you imagine. And then Merkel, the Lord of Bones.
Yeah.
They were an adventuring party that took advantage of the removal of certain gods from the pantheon and started to use their own followings that they built after their own experience as adventurers to become deities themselves. All of them heavily evil, and all have specific kind of like functions that they perform as a group. They are an underground network, so no one knows whereabouts their hideouts are, but they are known to essentially frequent Baldur's Gate as their head of operations sort of thing. Alright, so the Dead Free have been back in action, which wasn't expecting, as we thought we had wiped them out the last time we did a run through the underground circuits, but I think enough is enough. I'm requesting your attendance to these murders to look into places where I cannot send men at the moment. I'd like you to eradicate whatever you find.
Eradicate?
Destroy any property, kill any members, remove from whence they stood.
I'm fully aware of the definition, strangely enough. What my point is why did you ask for a librarian?
They're doing something that has... It stinks of what's happened out east. There has to be a reason they've come up at the same time that Elturel falls.
And you want us to just destroy evidence?
Well, if you want to bring it back here, perfect, but I don't want them having a home to come back to should anyone think it would be smart to come back.
Understood.
We've done it peacefully, we've done it efficiently, but somehow cutting off the head of the snake just means a new one grows back. If we remove the entire body... Do I have your agreement? I am willing to offer recompense for anything that you might need, and there is a 200 gold piece per accepted contract.
Understood and accepted, sir.
That's 1.
Sure.
2.
Winston's stomach just rumbles a bit. And suppose it'll be agreeable. Absolutely. Can't wait to get started.
And 3. I apologise that I have very little to give you in this. As I say, they are an underground network. The places where we have looked previously, we have checked. There is no sign of their return there, which means they've made new hideouts. They prefer to stick in the lower city. For those of you that have not visited Baldur's Gate before, there are 2 parts of the city. To the north, you'll find a second wall inside the city itself that is essentially gating off the higher city, which is where the more financially viable of the city live, and they like to make sure that we lower folks stay out of problems.
Okay.
And he hands out 3 little just chitties with his signature on them. If you show this showing that you need access to the higher city, to any guards on the gate, they will allow you in. But please only use it where needed. Don't use it to take the piss.
Okay.
Only other thing I can offer you is I've got a lass in one of the taverns to the north of the lower city. She's been fairly good at bringing in information, and she owes me a favour. So if you do need assistance, or if you want to get any information she can give you, head over to the Elf Song Tavern, which is not the best of places, but also it's where she likes to hide, so...
Do we have a name for that person?
Tarina. She's about yay high, and just about 5'5" or so off the ground. Blondish hair, fairly nautical looking lass.
In the Elf Song Tavern.
Oh, aye. As I say, you will be paid 200 gold each for your service, and if I can offer any recompenses for things that need replacing, and gestures to, for example, your bandolier, Winston, as I'm aware that certain spells and things need items, I'm happy to pay where I can.
Much appreciated. I'll keep a bill for you.
It would be appreciated. Anyway, that's all I can offer you for now. Please feel free to ask any questions now, or head off and do however you need to do. I'm sure you might need to get acquainted with one another and your skill sets. You're welcome to use this house as a rest place as well, should you need it. And again, those shitties should get you into any guard houses around the city as a base of operations, should you need a place.
And you said they're usually found in the lower part of the city?
They've never really acted up much in the upper city. They seem to enjoy causing what already is a bit of a pitiful existence to be downright annoying.
Okay.
It sounds like rich people just, snobbing off the poor even more.
Unfortunately, in this city, you need to have a bit more than just, I think, to approach the rich lot. They have financial and lawful backup. They are just as bad as you think they are.
So where was the last murder committed?
It was about a block out of the Elf Song itself. It was out in the middle of the street. The body was found early morning by someone setting up their shop front.
And how had they been killed? Was there something weird to it? Were body parts missing?
So there was.
Was it clean?
It was fairly clean murder. There was multiple dagger wounds in the back of the victim. They also had a hand imprinted on their front, which looks like there was some sort of evocation spell cast upon their chest at close range. It's also one of the marks that Bane likes to show that his followers have been there.
I understand. Hand imprinted by Bell.
Just because there were very high rolls on the history and religion check, you would know that is his... the other two don't really have symbols, they just have avatar images of themselves, which you would know just quickly to be... so Baal has a powerfully built man with a skull for a head and sabres for hands. Bane is normally seen as an armoured man with a bucket helmet, and his right hand is blackened, which holds chains, and this is the only one that has an actual sigil, which is the burnt right hand. And then finally, Merkel, the Lord of Bones, is a cloaked figure with skeletal hands clutching a screaming skull in front of it. Metal!
It's so many notes already, and we've only just got started.
Welcome to D&D.
Sad, isn't it?
Wait till I have to write these up to make them legible, because they're really not right now.
Imagine having to
Tell
sit
me-
for hours learning all this.
Tell me Merkel's thing again.
Merkel is Lord of Bones, and it's normally depicted as a cloaked figure, so you can't see anything other than this large cloak, but they have skeletal hands coming out the sleeves, holding a screaming skull in front of them. And again, metal!
Yes.
Right up my...
Screaming. And how do we spell Merkel, just to make sure I've got this right? Because I've written it as in Angela Merkel. I want to know I've spelled it
I've been
right.
waiting for that the whole time through.
Yep.
I've been waiting for someone to make it because it was beautiful. Anyway, Merkel is spelled Myrkul.
Myrkul. Okay, yeah, nothing like Angela Merkel.
I don't know.
Except for the same sphere.
Skeletal hands, screaming skull.
Screaming skull.
Cloak and dagger. We don't get political here unless it's for the Lord of Waterdeep, because we're all Waterdeepians. Waterdeepians.
My knowledge of Angela Merkel is not
Waterdeepian.
enough to make any jokes.
Mine's from Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I'm local.
Oh no.
She's local.
Which for you means that you're pond scum. Welcome to.
Pond scum. Pond scum. Pond scum.
Anything else that you would like to ask Captain Zodge, or would you like to get on and do things?
I want to get to the tavern.
Yeah, I want to get to the tavern. Where is the body now?
We give it over to the mortuary to kind of allow the family time to grieve, and also So it's not just sitting in the middle of the street.
Yes, understood.
And where would that be?
You'd want to be heading towards the Heap Gate, which is just in the centre of town. It's more to the east side of the city wall between lower and upper city.
Okay.
This is probably going to sound really tasteless, but was the victim any important?
Not that I know of. Just seemed to be a local shopkeep. Seems to be the information that I have been able to pull together, if you were looking for a correlation, is that they seem to be... This is only my personal insight into this, but they seem to be people who would be good-willed members of the citizens. Maybe they're trying to stop people helping those from Elturel, I don't know.
Okay.
And away we shall go. So you guys are heading over to the Elf Song first.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Me too, yeah.
Whichever place is closest first.
No, that's
Yeah.
cool. So the Elf Song would be a couple of blocks into the main city itself, and then, as said, you'd have to be going more into the centre of the city to get to the mortuary if you were looking to go there. So,
Probably the tavern.
the tavern? The tavern
Yep.
it is.
So the tavern then?
Let's go to the tavern.
Go to the tavern! Let's get a
everybody-
drink!
To the tavern. Tavern, everyone. Tavern.
Tavern.
So you head into town following the directions you're given by Zodge to get to said tavern, and you come up to, as you're walking through the streets, you'll note the kind of poverty of this area. Everything's made out of wood and very thrown together kind of buildings, whereas already you can see kind of rising up on the gradient of the actual land itself, you can see the upper city looming over it, which is all stone buildings, a lot more austere looking buildings. You come up to one of the few half stone, half wooden buildings in the area that is the Elf Song Tavern. I'm just going to make sure I have my map in front of me, so I make sure I say the right things. So you come up to, looks like there's a two-story building. You've got the ground floor and the first floor itself. For our Americans, ground floor is first floor. The tavern has a main entrance and looks to be fairly largely sized, and has a small veranda to the right of the first floor. There are two fairly burly-looking figures just as you step in. To your left, you will see a suit of armour that seems to, for one reason or another, every now and then just scratch its not nose,
Yeah, of course.
and then moves its
Yeah.
tongue back down. And just to the right of you, as you step through the door, is someone who, for the how I imagine them looking, looks like almost like a Goliath who's not really been told to stop eating. Very largely built, but almost like as well in a hippopotamus fashion of like, it looks more muscular rather than fat. Very large rotund belly, big arms, shoulders that kind of obscure whatever neck that should be there. Ponytail coming back. Fairly plain looking lipstick and gentle eyeshadow that's placed on. As you see a half ogre who play the two bouncers of the bar. Walking in, you see a couple of tables around the main floor. There are some like booths to the left of the main floor itself, and the bar itself is directly ahead of you, and there is a stairwell to the right of the room that goes up onto the next level, and a couple of doors that lead into like private rooms and stuff. Lot of no's. What would you like to do? Also, you don't see a lady who looks nautical in here.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Just in case we're going...
From those descriptors, yeah, no. Okay, cool.
Like, is she here?
She might be in a private room, she might be upstairs.
Right.
At the moment, downstairs is just kind of the barkeep, who is a half-elven male, kind of sea-locked hair, which I love. I read more about this recently. It's kind of like dreadlocks, but it's more made out of the sea salt that keeps the hair together, and looks more like cornrows a little bit. Half-elven, fairly elderly looking, but also being a half-elf, not so elderly looking. Because let's live forever. And yeah, other than that, there's no one else in the room at the moment, but you can hear the sound of like dice rolling and stuff upstairs, which means there are other patrons in the building.
Okay. Question is, do we ask or do we just go in?
I mean, I'm just going to go and get a drink.
Yeah.
Be normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. You get over, you get yourself a drink. It's only going to cost you about 2 or 3 copper between the three of you getting a drink. It's fairly low cost alcohol or whatever your tipple is.
Good, low cost is the best.
3 of your finest, cheapest drinks, please.
You get a sloshing glass placed in front of you.
What is this?
Just wine.
Just wine.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, the brand name is Wine.
Wine.
But
Ace
it's
Incorporated.
spelled like the town.
It's got
is it spelled with an H?
just because we could start this where we'd like to continue. You look for a brand on the bottle as he's pouring it, and just on the corner of the label, you can see like this I with an A in the middle of it. So some kids will know what's going on. Yeah,
I understood that reference.
I can do references that people know, I think. Next, Annika's challenge.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm just. It's really annoying to just have to convert out your money on here. Like, it's like, I just want to get rid of some copper. No. First up, you need to change your gold into silver, and then you can have your copper, and just great.
Did you say it's one copper per drink, Steve?
Yeah, 1 copper per drink.
Okay, look, I'll sort my money out later.
I'm doing the round. It's fine. This round's on me.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We'll
Thank you very much. Cheryl downs it in 1.
Hey!
Hey! Hey! And then starts singing. No, she don't.
Oh god. Something you will notice actually as you come in and you look around a bit more, just in the alcove under the stairs. So you've got the stairwell that goes on an L shape around the side of the right hand side of the building itself. In the alcove just underneath, sat in like this very there's a bar stool and like a stand, and there's a little cup holder on the stand, and there's the ghost of an elf just sat reading through a book. And then as it looks up and you hear you drink and go, hey, it just looks up and then starts to, in Elvish, start singing just a couple of songs. They're fairly local, like lore and like sea shanties just being sang, nothing of note, but it just has this low kind of droning of a ghost elf singing. Welcome to the elf song.
Okay. Is it miserable sounding, or is it just nice?
It could be cheerier.
Okay.
So it's like, I mean, it's not something I want to get up and party to, but also I don't want to, throw a rope over one of the beams in the middle of the room.
Right, okay.
Is it good enough for like a 7-second video, maybe?
Probably. We can probably work. Oh god, I've got to do a song.
You put this in. You said there was an elf.
It's called
singing.
the Elf Song Tavern. What do you want from me?
I came here Expecting elf song. I need me some elf song.
Got it.
We will have a video later on someone's TikTok. Come over to
Amazing.
Mr. Kindly DM, and you'll find that when I'm able to make a song together. Oh God, I've just had to share my TikTok. Oh, midlife crisis.
One of us.
It's a fucking character from a book as well. Oh. Anyway, someone else be more wanky than me, so I don't have to feel so embarrassed.
You have seen my TikTok, right?
And it's adorable and wonderful. Oh, everyone go over to Chaotic Ramblings with me.
There's so much chaos on that page. Catherine's just gonna really daintily sip this wine because it's just not her thing, but she's doing it to be polite.
Because... Oh, carry on.
No, you go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, because Cheryl's finished her first drink, she just buys another round. So you've now got 2 drinks that you're not drinking.
Oh, God. I always enjoy good drinking, barbarian.
Right.
Oh, this is going to be an amazing campaign.
Move over to the tavern.
As Catherine's daintily sipping on this wine that she really doesn't enjoy, can she do a proper purposeful look around just to see if anything stands out or sticks out?
Yeah.
Are you drunk but trying to be subtle?
Make an investigation check for me.
Investigation.
Investigation.
+3. Right. Stars we need to go on at 10.
10? No problem. So looking around, you see a couple of doors that are on this floor. So just to as you're sat at the bar at the moment, you can see there's a door just next to the bar itself, which has marked staff only. You can hear the sounds of pots and pans coming from it, so you imagine that's the kitchen. To the left of where this ghost is singing, there is a door that has a marking of E3. Has a green dragon's head on the door itself. There is down to the right of the door that you came in to enter the building. There is another room that is number 2, please. There we go. It's an open door. And you can see like comfy looking like leather chairs in there. It looks to be more of a smoker's room, kind of set up in that one down by the door itself. And then you've got the stairwell going up, obviously, that you can hear people upstairs from. To the left of you, as you came in, or now to the right as you look back around the room, the left of the building, there are a couple of booths on the side that you can see are kind of partially covered by walling. But there's still sight of any heads that would be sitting in them where you'd see anyone, but there's no one in them at the moment.
So, is it usually this dead barkeep? And I don't mean the...
Well, let me show the map.
Ghost.
He looks here. Well, it's lunchtime, so I'm imagining people will be in soon for food and stuff. We're known for our, fish soup and fish, and we also do fish if you need fish. There's some people upstairs if you're looking to chat with anyone. Are you looking for anyone in particular? Got a couple of we've got a game master in who's upstairs just running card games. We've got couple of locals who normally come in for, quiet corner.
We're looking for Tarina.
She's upstairs as well if you're looking for her.
Taylor, hanging out with, card games, that seems right. Yeah.
She doesn't really go in for the card games. She's more just, like I say, people come in for a quiet corner. She's a reader. She likes to just pop herself into one of the booths and have a nice quiet drink and a book, but I imagine something's going on if she's upstairs. She normally spends in. He points over to one of the booths on the left of the building, and goes, "Yeah, that's normally her seat, but today she went upstairs."
Well, thank you very much. Here, and she gives him another 3 coppers. We don't want any more drinks. This is just thank you for your help.
Holds the bottle. Okay.
No, we're good. We're good. She's good. Gesturing to Katherine, who still has not finished her first wine yet.
Yeah, I am nursing that first wine.
He leans. Oh, sorry.
Winston, how are you doing on the wine?
I mean, it's fine.
Are you on your second, or are you still on your first?
Probably on the second, but just not
Not
enjoying
enjoying
it. Yeah.
No.
Cast prestidigitation, make some little sparkles appear on it, like it's like a little cocktail. An illusory umbrella.
The barman leans forward to you, Cheryl, and goes, "Look, if you're looking for Tarina and she's doing something, I thank you for the tip, but I'll give you the glass it would have bought if you don't start anything." And he kind of has this pleading look in his face, like, I've had enough bar brawls this week, please don't.
I wasn't planning on starting anything, but thank you for the warning.
She's not normally sat upstairs, and now 3 people come in looking for her, and again...
Yes, I'm sure, as you can completely see, just based on all of this, obviously I came here for a rumble, sir.
I think it would probably be safe to say she's normally quite a skittish person, and if she's deliberately avoiding her normal space, she's definitely not going to want 3 people approaching her, so maybe it would be best if someone, she looks to Winston, goes and approaches her on their own. Yeah, I meant you. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, she's not gonna... I mean, come on.
I think the child's got a point.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Yep, absolutely fine. Not a problem at all. Yeah, that will last for 8 hours. I cast mage armor on myself.
Clever.
And just check myself over, and head upstairs.
Excellent. So you, as you said, dust yourself down, cast the spell, wander up. I'm assuming you 2 ladies will take a seat and just stay comfy.
Yeah, we'll just wait for
just
the
wait
screaming
for the screams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. I said it too.
I would say I'd maybe head closer to the stairs so that we're definitely ready to...
There are tables in the actual floor itself, sorry. So you've got a couple circular tables in your typical bar fashion that you're able to grab a table closer to the stairwell itself.
We'll get ourselves seated, but also ready.
Excellent.
In case it all goes to shit.
Volunteered Winston.
Yeah. What a bitch. I love it.
Thanks for that. Not the
You
barbarian
seem like
with the
the
more
most
hit points.
Friendly.
No, you'll probably be fine. I'm sure. I think she's just a woman. You'll be fine.
Wow.
Yeah, just talk to her. Find out stuff.
Not only in role-playing games are powerful women just believable and also very good. Feminist rights. But
just
never
you know,
say
she
it's
seems
just a woman. Some of the most badass characters in D&D are women. Like
just
the black
from like
staff of
the
Waterdeep.
barman's description. She sounds nice.
Katniss,
she sounds
whatever
normal.
her fucking name is, the daughter of Bruno Battlehammer, and like there's amazing characters throughout the series. How dare you?
We don't know much about this woman. She sounds nice.
Here we only need 2 X's because the third is just going to be hanging off the Y. Anyway. And any other backgrounds you'd like to originate from. Anyway, so Winston wanders upstairs, where he is met by a couple of people who are just sat around. Again, it's a bit like downstairs. There's a couple of tables, and there are a couple of doors around the floor itself that lead off to private rooms. You are aware that as a tavern, there will probably be bedrooms or guest rooms that are available, which you note as there are a couple of doors around the walling of this main area that have obvious key locks or keyholes on. In the centre of the room, which takes up in like more long tables rather than the circular tables downstairs, you see 2 or 3 people sat around. There is a woman with hair pulled back in a braid. She has black hair, fairly gaunt figure, has typical kind of sailor attire, kind of like a leather waist jacket, kind of simple undershirt, a couple of like carabiners and stuff hanging off her fairly pocketed trousers, because more pockets. There is a Goliath and a Tabaxi over on another part of the table, who are currently playing cards with one another. The Tabaxi is in your typical kind of like tabby cat mixtures of browns going into blacks with spots of white. One of the ears looks bitten off. The Goliath has quite... they look kind of almost tribal-looking tattoos of different animals and stuff crawling across the muscular exterior of said Goliath. Straps and stuff across the bare chest, because Goliaths don't know what shirts are. There is also a dwarf in one corner of the room, mohawk, which seems to be stunted, long scraggly beard that kind of tucks under the table, wearing what looks like a flannel shirt and just holding a book upside down, and looks to be reading. And this is the room for you.
Cool. So I'm just gonna go straight up to the person who matches the description of Tarina that I was given.
Yep.
And yeah, I guess let's go with would you happen to be Tarina?
She turns around with a face of thunder from her cup in front of her. And that is where we will pick up next episode. We have done first episode of Avernus, guys. Woo!
Wow!
Nobody died.
Episode 1 is done.
I was so worried that next episode you'll all die. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's first episode. We'll pick up here next week. Not next week, next fortnight, where we will see what Tarina has for the gang, and how things go down in the Elfsong Tavern. For now, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to support future content. And as always, for all that want to say bye, say bye.
Bye.